Have you ever heard of Siegfried and Roy? The iconic Vegas performers known for their thrilling magic show with white tigers and lions? Their performances left audiences spellbound, attracting over 400,000 people every year. However, tragedy struck in 2003 when one of their tigers attacked Roy during a live show, leaving him severely injured and changing the course of their careers forever. In this video, we'll dive deeper into what happened that fateful night, the aftermath of the attack, and the debates surrounding the incident. But more importantly, we'll explore the importance of prioritizing safety measures when working with wild animals to ensure the safety of both humans and animals alike. So buckle up and join us for this riveting story about Siegfried and Roy's terrible last show. Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn, a talented German duo, became known worldwide for their incredible stage performances that left audiences spellbound. They first met while working on a cruise ship in the 1960s and quickly realized their shared passion for entertaining crowds, with their circus-like acts and mesmerizing magic shows. In 1990, Siegfried and Roy received an amazing opportunity to perform at the Mirage in Las Vegas, which propelled them to even greater heights of fame and success. Their shows were lavish and captivating, attracting over 400,000 people every year. They were particularly renowned for their performance with white tigers and lions, which added a unique and thrilling element to their acts. However, tragedy struck in 2003 when Roy was attacked by one of the tigers during a show. He shouted at the animal to release him, but the tiger refused to let go. Despite Roy's attempt to fight back, the tiger swiped at his feet, causing him to fall to the ground. The tiger then pounced on top of him, exerting its immense strength and weighing over 400 pounds. The incident left Roy severely injured and changed the course of Siegfried and Roy's careers forever. Roy's love for animals was evident from a young age, having formed a close bond with dogs in his childhood. He attributed his lifelong connections with animals to this early relationship. While Siegfried focused on the magic tricks and illusions, Roy was known for his daring performances with the tigers and lions. He fearlessly commanded the wild animals to perform stunts and tricks, which amazed and thrilled audiences. Once upon a time, Roy was a lion and tiger enthusiast, and he had a collection of 63 of these magnificent animals in his Las Vegas home. The animals were not confined to cages, but instead freely roamed around his house and garden. Roy had raised many of them from birth, and he was the first person they saw and the first person they respected. Over time, Roy built a strong bond of trust with his animals, considering them his family. Roy's performances with his animals were legendary, and he relied on the trust he had built with them to command them during his performances. In fact, his favorite white tiger, Manticore, had performed with him over 30,000 times in daredevil theatrics that involved not only tigers and lions, but also elephants and cheetahs. Each move was well rehearsed, and the animals were respected and appreciated by the audience. However, on a Friday night after celebrating his 59th birthday, tragedy struck. As Roy stepped onto the stage with Manticore, something spooked the tiger, causing it to turn on Roy. Roy immediately put himself between the tiger and the audience, commanding Manticore to lie down. But the tiger was in a state of frenzy, and it attacked Roy, causing severe injuries that required multiple surgeries to save his life. Despite the incident, Roy never lost his love for the animals. He believed that it was his fault for underestimating the animals' behavior, and he forgave Manticore for what happened. Roy's life was forever changed by the incident, but he never wavered in his belief that his animals were his family, and he continued to love and care for them until his death in 2020. Manticore, the tiger, showed disobedience towards his owner and attacked Roy by grabbing his hand and biting down. Roy tried to get the animal to release his grip, but the tiger resisted and continued to swipe at him. With 400 pounds of brute strength, Manticore lunged on top of Roy, knocking him to the ground in front of the audience. As the gasp from the audience filled the room, Manticore grabbed Roy by the neck, leaving Siegfried no choice but to rush at the animal and try to stop it. Despite Siegfried's efforts, Manticore dragged Roy off stage, leaving his body limp like a rag doll. The trainers rushed toward the tiger and tried to make it release Roy, but the animal refused to let go. Even after backstage staff hit Manticore repeatedly and fired a fire extinguisher into its face, the tiger showed no sign of letting go. Eventually, the tiger dropped Roy and ran back to its cage. Roy was left lying on the floor, covered in blood. The tiger had caused severe injuries, severing an artery in Roy's neck, brushing his windpipe, and slicing through vertebrae. The staff on duty did everything they could to stop the flow of blood, but Roy had lost a significant amount of blood, leaving him in critical condition by the time emergency services arrived. However, despite his injuries, Roy managed to utter a plea not to harm the tiger. "Don't shoot the cat." The medical team immediately took Roy to surgery to perform a decompressive craniectomy and placed him on a ventilator. Roy's condition was uncertain, and the doctors were not sure if he would survive. During the surgery, Roy's heart stopped multiple times and he even flatlined, but the doctors managed to revive him each time and his condition gradually improved. Remarkably, within a span of 2 days, Roy began responding to questions, albeit only by squeezing his hand. Despite suffering from paralysis on one side of his body and being told that he may never walk again, Roy's cognitive function showed signs of improvement that surpassed expectations. After just 3 months, Roy's tracheal tube was removed and he regained his ability to speak and eat. He even regained the ability to stand, and 6 years later, he and Siegfried returned for a final show in Vegas. The duo aimed to conclude their Vegas extravaganza on a high note, and although the show was not the same, it served as a fitting end to their illustrious career. However, there is much debate about what occurred on the night of the attack. Roy asserts that he fell ill while on stage, possibly due to a stroke, and that Manticore was only trying to protect him by dragging him off stage. According to Roy, this behavior is innate in mother tigers who pick up their young and move them to a safe location. Roy maintains that Manticore saved his life. On the other hand, Siegfried argues that if Manticore wanted to kill Roy, he could have easily done so. Some believe that the tiger intended to attack Roy. An animal trainer claimed that the tiger was confused, as there were last-minute changes to the routine that Roy had not practiced with the tiger. When Manticore found himself in the wrong position on stage, Roy tried to correct it using the wrong technique. This confusion and possible anger caused Manticore to lash out in frustration. After the tragic incident involving an animal attack during a live show, animal rights activists spoke out against the use of show animals, calling for their retirement. The U.S. Department of Agriculture also initiated an investigation into the accident, citing the need for adequate safety measures and distancing between animals and audiences. However, the show organizers refused to release footage of the incident for examination, and the case was ultimately dropped. The animal in question, a white tiger named Manticore, had a unique and touching backstory. Siegfried's mother had taken on the responsibility of bottle feeding the cub after it was rejected by its mother at 6 months old. Roy had developed a close bond with the tiger, introducing it to his live shows. Manticore lived out the rest of its days at Siegfried and Roy's mansion in Las Vegas, and 10 years after the attack, the tiger passed away at the age of 17 due to an illness, leaving the famous duo heartbroken. In light of this tragedy and the inherent risk associated with working with wild animals, it is important to prioritize safety measures when in the presence of these majestic creatures. To avoid potential tiger attacks, it is recommended to follow certain guidelines, such as remaining upright and tall in their territory, staying in groups in near populated areas, constantly changing position, and being aware of your surroundings, carrying pepper spray, and if necessary, a firearm, and making a loud noise to deter potential attackers. These precautions can help ensure the safety of both humans and animals alike. Siegfried and Roy's story is one of incredible talent, passion, and tragedy. Their performances with white tigers and lions captivated audiences worldwide, but the devastating attack during their last show changed everything. Despite the controversy surrounding the incident, Roy never lost his love for animals, and he continued to care for them until his death in 2020. This tragic event sparked a conversation about the use of wild animals in entertainment and the importance of prioritizing safety measures. As we wrap up this video, we encourage you to share your thoughts on this topic, and remember to always prioritize the safety of both humans and animals. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.